Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. In this one, I'm going to be discussing as well as showcasing how to unlock the brand new Sledgehammer melee weapon the fastest here in Call of Duty Vanguard. So of course, hello everyone and welcome to Season 3 of Vanguard as well as Warzone, and naturally, with the brand new season, we did end up getting a new set of DLC weapons. Naturally, they are the Nikita AVT, the M1916, as well as the Sledgehammer melee weapon. Now of course, those first two DLC weapons are unlocked via the Battle Pass, however, the Sledgehammer you actually unlock by completing a rather simple challenge, and in today's video, and we're going to be discussing how to complete that challenge. So with that all being said, if you guys go on to enjoy this video at any given point in time, make sure you leave a like on it down below as well as subscribe. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. And alright, so once you load up Call of Duty Vanguard, you go over to your secondary weapons, and underneath the melee category, you are going to be seeing the Sledgehammer. And the description of this weapon reads, a tool designed for breaking stone, though works equally well on enemy bones in a pinch. Additionally, the challenge you have to complete to unlock this weapon states, get a multi-kill with a melee weapon in 15 different matches. And alright, so that sounds pretty straightforward. It's not as convoluted as some other challenges that we saw back in Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, and heck even Vanguard. So yeah, let's actually go ahead and break it down as to how to complete this challenge the absolute fastest. So the first thing that you'll want to do is to have a proper class sub. Naturally, the class sub that I use to complete this challenge is on your screen right now. Let's actually break it down a little bit. Naturally, my primary weapon is going to be the combat shield, and that's because since I'm using a melee weapon as my secondary, it doesn't make sense for me to run a submachine gun or assault rifle or anything of the sort. And if you're using a melee weapon and you run the combat shield, you don't have to worry about getting shot in the back, which is honestly really useful. With that being said, for my secondary weapon, I am going to be using the FS fighting knife. However, the challenge only states you need to get a multi-kill with a melee weapon, so if you want to use something like the katana or the sawtooth or the ice axe or anything of that nature, you can go ahead and use that. However, in this video, I'm just going to be using the fighting knife. So with that being said, now let's move on over and talk about the perk setup, because this is where things start to get a little bit important. So naturally, for my perks, I am going to be using fortified, and that is just because you are going to be playing on something like shipment, which I will get to that a little bit later in this video. You'll want to run fortified because candidly you get blown up a lot on those smaller maps, so you'll definitely want to run fortified so that way you won't get blown up all the time. With that being said, for your second perk, you're going to be wanting to use tracker, because what tracker does is enemies leave behind a footprint trail, so you can kind of track them a little bit like the name states, and this perk is going to allow you to find enemies a lot quicker and overall get your double kills a lot easier. With that being said, for your third perk, you are going to be using lightweight, and that's just because this perk will be increasing your movement speed, which is extremely important because you want to be running faster than the people that you're trying to stab. So that's how come lightweight is extremely useful, because of course, if you've ever used a combat knife or any sort of melee weapon in Vanguard or any Call of Duty game, you'll know that there are many situations where you're running after an opponent and you're trying to stab them, but you're just not fast enough. So if you put on lightweight, you're going to be running a little bit faster than pretty much any other player, overall allowing for you to catch up to them, killing them, and completing this challenge the absolute fastest. So with that being said, moving down for my lethal, I'm just going to be using the throwing knife, nothing really too crazy. However, for my tactical, you do have a couple options. One thing that you can run is the stun grenade, as it's going to be slowing down your enemies, so all you have to do is just throw this in the room, stun a couple enemies, run in and stab them. That's honestly a really good idea. And the other thing that you can run is actually the smoke grenade, because one thing that you can do is when you have your smoke grenade, you can throw it down on, let's say, a hard point or a domination point, and then you wait for the enemies to come by, and when it's entirely smoky and they can't see you, you run it behind them and you get your double kill, and it's really just as simple as that. So you can go ahead and experiment. You can try out the stun grenade and the smoke grenade and see exactly what works best for you. And alright, so now that we got the class up out of the way, let's actually talk about what game modes you should be playing. And personally, I would recommend the Ship House 24/7 playlist, and that's just because Shipment and DOS House are extremely close quarters maps, which means there's going to be a very high likelihood of you running into two opponents, stabbing them, and getting your double kill. And yeah, it's really just as simple as that. Once again, you only need to get a multi-kill, so this could be a double kill, triple kill, quad kill, whatever it may be. Keep in mind, since you're using a melee weapon, the time between one kill and the second kill for it to count as a multi-kill is a lot longer, so it's a lot more forgiving than, let's say, if you're using a submachine gun where you kill one person and then you pretty much have to kill another person immediately for it to count as a double kill. So just make sure to keep that in mind. And alright, finally, before I end off today's video, I do want to talk about another alternative to actually completing this challenge, and that is by purchasing a bundle. Interestingly enough, there is the Big Brawl bundle, which is currently in the shop for 1,000 COD points, and if you purchase it, you are going to be getting access to the legendary Junkyard Jet blueprint for the Sledgehammer. So yeah guys, with that being said, that's going to effectively wrap up this video. I hope you went on to enjoy it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on it down below, as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you guys will not miss any of the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, class ups, intel, and so much more. So yeah, thank you once again for watching. I've been your host, Deeper Jungle. I hope to see you in the next one.